So just a couple quick questions here. You talked a little bit about this in terms of maybe some of the generational differences and the different types of technology being used. What are some of the skill sets and mindsets? There's quite a few students out here that we can start working on now to get ready for cognitive.
Absolutely, great question. So the first thing that we would like to ask ourselves, the students, do you want to walk the floor? That's the first question you would ask, right? So now when you walk the floor, obviously the first step towards walking the floor is understanding the process, understanding the technology as well along with the process. These are all academics. You will learn, you will get it. But one thing that you have to pick up towards cognitive is intuition to explain the insight to your internal customer. That's main, right? So when you're seeing something, you're viewing something, you need to prep yourself up. Again, knowledge curation. Even within yourself, you have to be cognitive, right? And interpret that so that along with the cognitive era, you are also learning what to interpret. So I would say intuition is important. That's the first thing. You have to have passion, right? And you have to love manufacturing floor and understanding the inside. So what's the fundamental of understanding the inside? You need to be a data geek. You need to learn data and analyze even an Excel spreadsheet. So you absolutely, Excel spreadsheet. So something that machine cannot do is to understand and really understand the data. Well, machine would do, right? But for you to be successful in the millennial world, I think a solid understanding of data and the intuition to interpret the data, I think that's fundamental.
Okay, that's great. So part data scientist, part engineer, part geek, all good things, right?
Yeah, when we hire folks, I'll give an example here, 30 seconds. There was a day when a resume comes in, used to come in and say, okay, I know manufacturing. But now you know manufacturing along with, do you know Industry 4.0? Have you connected an ABB machine on the floor? Boom, 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 boom. The 15 requirements. So it's a package. It's all packaged now.
That's great. I have a really good question here. Over what time frame would you expect broad-based adoption and penetration of these capabilities? And it's a two-part question. So, and then what do you think are some of the hurdles kind of in the way for more folks to adopt this?
Okay, so the two questions. One is the hurdle piece.
Yes.
Or the first one is the capability.
Yes.
So, so I would say that to this, let's talk about the hurdle first. What's the hurdle here? The hurdle is, I think the main hurdle is change management, which is not manufacturing. When you are planning for a 2018 manufacturing strategy, budgeting, planning, you have 15 projects planned, and 10 of them will be rejected because, don't get me wrong here, okay? The unions would not approve it, right? How do you manage it? Unions would approve it. They are very smart people too, just like who was approving the strategy, right? So I think the first hurdle is to make sure that you work around that change management as a first step, I would say. And I think that's a main step. Once that is done, then implementing that change, obviously you need a powerhouse too for that, will be easier. So the first thing is change management to hurdle. As far as the capability goes, that's also a step two. So when you're doing a strategy work for next year, planning, budgeting, you know what you're good at, and you know where you want to outsource. I think I was talking about that. So that capability analysis, the capability matrix, is very crucial. So you will take, so you can have a self-test questionnaire, you know that, okay, the scheduling is solid, but when we reschedule, we completely mess up. Let's say a capability, right? So you will basically think why the rescheduling messes up. Is it because I don't have right people in place? I do not have alerts and notification in place. I do not do an impact analysis before I reschedule. I do not call the customer service before I do that. That's capability analysis. You just outsource that to somebody internally or externally and focus on your strength. Or you can do, since it's stable, you can have budget more for rescheduling and make sure that in 6 months you have a gate approach to be better in rescheduling. So the capability understanding, I think I've given an example here, is also a journey. It's a journey too.
Mm-hmm. We talk about it a little bit in nice terms like change management. Someone else used a different term in here. They said, how do you convince someone to shock their system and to start down this journey?
So shocking the system is seeing believing, right? Show versus tell. So you may have to go to hibernation for 90 days and you exactly know what that person is asking for because you will shock him or her when you get back. So always believe in, my belief is that you obviously have to think big, right? But you have to start small. So shocking is a big word. You have to shock and shake, right? So I would say that if you take a sample, because the fundamentals of all these cognitive era hasn't changed. It's still statistics, it's still mathematics, it's still physics, right? Nothing has changed. That simple mindset of, so when somebody you want to give a positive shock and say, this is what you have to do, change, right? You take a step back, get some data, try to do your own homework, science homework, and it's show versus tell. So you have to show it. And that's where generally we are also addressing customer demands. So most of the projects that we are doing, it actually fits into the era I'm delivering, is most of our projects are 6 months, 4 months proof of concepts in cognitive, because predictive products are long, but because it's that we have to shock them to say, yes, this is my next gen, I can take away 15% of the cost and I can bring 3 robots in, and that 15% cost I can put somewhere else. So shocking, I would say, is also believing and showing, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Really seeing the results right away.
Yep,
that's
seeing
great.
the results.
So here's a question someone asked, just a little clarification. So what is the difference between AI and cognitive? They kind of thought they were similar concepts, so they want to know the finer points.
So once I say cognitive, I am transforming a non-living object to living. Right? So cognitive is a machine will stop after 350 run and the operator cannot do anything. That machine needs pampering. That's cognitive. Mm-hmm. But to achieve that cognitive, you need that artificial algorithms, artificial intelligence algorithms to push and make it cognitive. Mm-hmm. Human centricity, human brain into that machine. So artificial intelligence is machine learning. It is mainly helping you, augmenting you, and helping you to make smarter decisions. But once the human element comes into it, it transforms into cognitive.
Mm-hmm. So someone asked a question kind of along those same lines, right? So once AI evolves, can it actually find errors in the same way that humans can? How smart is it really going to be?
So, I mean, it will be smart. It will not replace humans at all, because the R&D will come from human brain, right? Research is not going away. What may go away, I would say 2020, would manufacturing redefine, reimagine. So it is about, I mean, right now, if you really see, I'm sure you know this story or you may Google about it, that Dr. Watson won Jeopardy in 2010 or 11, right? Yeah. So I would say he won it, and it was just a machine. I'll give you one more example. That one of our large aerospace and defense customer, all the diagnosis, error handling are completely through machine learning and artificial intelligence. There's not somebody's going and checking an Excel and checking, they're believing it. That, okay, today there are 15 parts, there are 5 flights, we need to maintain it, and these are the products needed. It's habit, right? There's no human point there. There's no human mind who is going back to the algorithm and checking. The algorithm is proved. It's proved by trust with data, and that's how it's happening. So I would say that there will be a day where human touch on the machine, inspection, operations, quality, may go away because the algorithm will be so strong. What would not go away is the intuition to make decision that I will take away that operator and put a robot in it. That intuition will still be the human brain.
That's great. I would like to know what Watson did with all the money he won on Jeopardy. Went to development, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So crystal ball time. Couple final thoughts. Anir, what do you see maybe in the next 5 years? Major developments, things that we won't recognize 5 years from now.
Well, 5 years from now, I would see that a vendor or a supplier coming into a shop floor and the forecast is 100% accurate for the dependent demand that they need to satisfy for their customer, which is the organization building the product. 100% accurate, a forecast. So how that's possible? So this organization in 2020 sold a solution back to that vendor to come back with forecast accuracy 100% because now they are sharing data. So one thing that will happen is redefining boundaries, opening the secret sauces, which will no more be secret sauces anymore, but still controlling the IP, revisiting the contracts between suppliers and the organization in this case, right? So the contract re-evaluation of manufacturing is very important because you take any large customer, any small to medium customers, they're all re-evaluating the contracts because they need sensors, and when they need sensors, they need to share their data to the other side of the fence. So if 5 years down the road, I do believe that it will be completely enabled data economy. I do believe that there will be a tremendous improvement in the accuracy of forecast, returns process, quality. And I also believe that the manufacturing will be more smoother and more simpler because the intricacies will be dealt by the machine. The perception of manufacturing will be much more simpler. Simple Life by Elton John.
All right, simple. It's easy. It's going to be easy, guys. Don't worry about it. We got it. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Anir, for this presentation. It was fantastic.
Thank you.